Have you ever thought about a spiritual scorecard? Not one that's all about guilt or just ticking off religious boxes. What if I told you there's a scorecard in the Bible that's actually a deep, intimate, and affirming message about love and growth? Well, we're about to dive into one of the most encouraging verses in, of all places, the book of Revelation. So this is a message straight from Jesus to one of his churches, the church in a place called Thyatira. And right off the bat, you can just feel the warmth, can't you? This isn't a list of complaints or accusations. It's a list of commendations. It's this heartfelt recognition of their spiritual life. And this positive, affirming tone really sets the stage for everything we're about to unpack. Now, when we hear a list like works, love, service, faith, patience, it's so easy for our brains to go, oh, great, another impossible standard I'm supposed to meet. But what if that's not the point at all? What if this verse is actually revealing something way deeper about what a real relationship with God looks like? That's the big question we're tackling today. So let's start right at the very beginning with those first four powerful words, I know thy works. This isn't just some casual observation. It is, and you'll see why, the foundation for this entire message. You see, the Greek word that's used here for know is oida. And this isn't just analytical knowledge, like, knowing a fact from a book. No, this means a deep, relational, intimate knowing. One source even compares it to a groom who sees the hidden beauty and all the labor of love in his beloved. So Jesus isn't just watching from a distance. He's right there, walking in their midst, totally aware of their hearts, their struggles, and yeah, their triumphs too. So with that incredibly intimate knowledge, what exactly does he see? Well, he points to four specific virtues. And these are less about external performance and much more about the internal transformation that's happening inside of them. These are the real fruits of a maturing faith. First up is agape love. And let's be clear, this is not just some warm, fuzzy feeling. This is God's own divine, self-giving love that flows through a person. It's the kind of love that acts for the good of other people, even when it costs you something. It's really the root of everything else on this list. And that agape love, it just has to express itself. And it does that through service or diakonia. This is love with its sleeves rolled up. It's the humble, active work you do for others. It's the practical proof that the divine love we just talked about is actually real and present. The third fruit is faith, or piston, and its meaning here is so rich. It's not just about agreeing with a set of facts in your head. It's about faithfulness. It's a deep-seated loyalty, a living confidence in God, especially when life gets hard. And finally, we've got patience, hupomone. I love this one. Think of this as spiritual stamina. It's that ability to stay steadfast when you're under pressure, to endure trials without caving or running away. It's the spiritual resilience that really protects and holds up all the other virtues. Okay, so did you notice something a little curious in the verse? The word works actually shows up twice, once at the beginning and then again after that list of virtues. Now, that's not a typo. It's a really crucial distinction that's going to deepen our whole understanding. All right, let's break this down. The first mention of works could be just any old action, right? But Jesus repeats it to clarify the source of true, meaningful works. See, on one hand, you have works driven by fear or duty, where the goal is to try and earn something from God. But then there's a totally different kind of work, works that are the natural fruit of faith, driven by love and devotion, with the simple goal of expressing the salvation you already have. The Apostle Paul makes this exact same point over in Galatians. And the big insight is this. What really matters isn't just religious rule-keeping. It's a genuine faith that's energized and expressed through love. It's not about trying harder in your own power. It's about the fruit that comes from a heart that's just devoted to God. This brings us to the final, and maybe the most encouraging phrase in the whole verse. After listing all these wonderful fruits, Jesus adds this one last line that basically just celebrates growth itself. What a beautiful idea, the last to be more than the first. Jesus isn't just saying, hey, good job. He's saying, I see you growing. I see that your love and your service and your endurance are more mature and way more abundant now than when you first started. He is literally celebrating their progress. This lines up perfectly with that principle from Proverbs 4:18, that the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The spiritual life isn't supposed to be static. It starts with that initial faith, sure, but then it gets refined through endurance and service, and the result is mature, abundant fruit that just shines brighter and brighter over time. Okay, so we've broken down the Greek words, we've looked at the structure. But what's the big takeaway? How does this ancient message actually speak to us right here, right now? Let's just summarize the key takeaways. First, Jesus knows you completely and intimately. Second, real growth isn't about having a perfect record, but about seeing an increase in your love, your service, your faithfulness, and your endurance. Third, true works are always, always the result of a faith that's energized by love. And fourth, and this is so freeing, God celebrates your progress, not your perfection. But where does all this come from? This quote just captures the essence of everything we've been talking about. Listen to this. Works are not the currency of salvation, but the confirmation of transformation. Your good works don't buy your way into God's favor. No, they're the beautiful, compelling evidence that God has already transformed your heart. They just confirm an inner reality. And here it is, the ultimate source. Jesus himself said it. True spiritual fruit, the love, the service, the patience, all of it all comes from one place, a vital, living connection to him. He says we are the branches, he is the vine. Any fruit we produce is just because of the life that is flowing from him into us. And that leaves us with a final question to really reflect on. I want you to take a look at your own life, at your own works. Are they driven by a need to prove yourself? Are they a currency you're trying to use to earn God's approval? Or are they the joyful, natural overflow of a heart that is simply confirming a love that has already and completely been won for you? It's a question worth sitting with.